Welcome into Running It Straight on Sport Nation for you. Tuesday, it's the 26th of May, folks, and at the end of round 12, the Warriors sitting in second position on the NRL ladder, and the Penrith Panthers loom this weekend in a top-of-the-table clash. It is great to have your company as we talk league up until 7 p.m. Sammy alongside Anthony Galling. What are we going to get through today? We'll have a look at the team lists for the Panthers, freshly named just 90 seconds prior. We'll have a look at the game on the weekend against the Dragons. We'll have a look this weekend to the Panthers. State of Origin tomorrow night, folks, over in Sydney. The Maroons up against the Blues, and already I want to throw up in my mouth because there's a couple of Maroons jerseys floating about the studio. And something different a little bit later on, Jello, in a post that I put on Instagram that in Kiwi parlance has gone viral. 3,000 likes, that's viral. And it's around a Kiwi version of State of Origin and what that looks like. And we'll explain it all as we get there. Jello, but firstly, welcome in, my friend. Looking disgusting as always. Well, not as always. Looking disgusting today with that maroon jersey on, my friend.
Says you, mate. What makes you back the other side?
Whole mum's side of the family, all from Janelli in Sydney.
Okay.
So Cronulla Sharks fans.
So it's in the
from
blood.
The Shire. It's in the blood.
Line.
It's in the blood, mate. Plus, I just can't stand Billy Slater and Cameron Smith for dominance of 13 years or whatever it was.
There's a strange seriousness about Billy Slater, eh? Like an awkward seriousness.
A little bit, yeah. He's a bit too... Like, did you hear that he's banned, is it Triple M, from all of the media appearances and stuff for Queensland because of Aaron Woods calling him one of the grubbiest players in the NRL or something?
Was that a couple of years ago?
It was last year, I think.
Oh, okay.
And because of that now, he's basically banned Triple M.
I don't know, you could ban
Well,
media.
I don't know whether it's like he threatened them or whatever, but just... Yeah, I don't like Billy Slater,
That's
man.
funny.
I don't like Queenslanders.
Well,
Queenslanders just... There's something about the look of a Queenslander. They remind me of the Australian cricket team. You just want their punchable faces. Daly Cherry Evans. They're just... they're punchable faces, man.
See, so I've always been quite conflicted because, like, I love Queensland. Like, the whole underdog thing. I just back him, man. I love him. Like, Matty Bowen, he's just the king. The absolute king. But my favourite player was Brad Fittler. And he was in New South Wales Blue. Okay. So a little bit conflict there. But no, I love the Queensland jersey, man. And I think because my old man went for Queensland too.
Oh, no, yeah. That makes a massive difference.
And when I started watching, it was they were the underdogs. And this was the theory that you backed the team that was underdogs when you started watching.
Okay. You I think you might have told this story last year, actually, about watching it with your dad and how you sort of grew to get into Queensland and how he sort of instilled that in you. There's definitely players that have worn the maroon jersey over the years that I have an admiration for, Jello. Billy Slater's not one of them. But neither is Justin Hodges. But there is a couple of them that I've always kind of liked and admired. I've always been a JT fan.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I just love this time of year because when it's Origin time, it's like both sides are just waiting with the microscopes and it's like, what can we grab a hold of?
Oh, of course.
To just pump up this narrative and get the storyline. The whole Casey Maguire thing. Yeah. Like Laurie Daly, as soon as he said Casey Maguire, Queenslanders are like, we got him.
But do you know what it is now?
An idiot.
Do you know what it is now? It's Cam Munster taking a day off from training. And that's been blown up by the New South Wales kind of media cohort saying, what's your captain? Like, why would you... I understand a player maybe taking a lighter workload, but your captain? 3 days out from an Origin?
That one's not in my algorithm. Might be a little Queensland bubble here.
You got a Queensland bubble. But Jello, this is what the NRL and State of Origin in particular do so well. Yeah. Is they pump up those narratives. And as fake and as silly as they may be, it's what sells tickets. It's what makes people tune in. Even without the fighting, it's... Yeah, it's
easy to move on from what they were. Because I remember last year the whole Spencer Leniu thing. Oh, you didn't kick to Spencer. Remember that?
That's right.
That had people on the edge of their seat.
Was Reece Walsh last year or the year before? It was Suali'i. Was that last year or the year before? Oh, he got absolutely clothesline. Shortest shortest State of Origin career of all. Career, right? Because that was it. He debuted and he exited all in 9 minutes.
There's a lot to get through. Do you want to start with the Wires?
Let's start with the Wires. I'll start with the team list for the Panthers, Jello, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Dragons. Also, Andrew Abdo, we need to talk about his resignation as well, what he's done for the game of the NRL. Taine Tuopiki Starting at fullback, Dallin Matini-Zalesniak and Lofiana Khan-Pereira, the two wingers. Ali Leatoa and Adam Pompey in for Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, who, of course, has done his ACL. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. Chanel Harris-Tavita and Tim Whitey-Martin in the halves. Fisher Harris, Jackson Ford, the props with Wade Egan. Leka Halasima, Jacob Laban, the second row with Aaron Clark, the 13. Sam Healy, Tanastawa Smith, Dimitri Vaimunga, Manata Niakore, Kalis Fatialofa and Luke Hansen on the extended interchange. If you want to go a little bit further with the reserves, Jello, Makai Tafua, Luke Metcalf and Jason Salalilo. So Luke Metcalf may potentially make it into that 19-man squad, but for now it is Tamari Martin, Chanel Harris-Tavita named in the halves. What do you make of it, Jello? Not a lot of changes from Dragons other than Roger?
Not a lot of changes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sav made a good point. She asked if the reserve grade are playing before this game on the Sunday, because I know sometimes they do. The New South Wales Cup will line up that way. If they do, perhaps we could see Luke Metcalf playing some reserve grade, because I believe Rocco Berry's also good to go.
Yeah, over in Penrith, Jello at 3 p.m. New South Wales Cup team plays.
There you go. So I think you might see Lukey get some game time there
in New South Wales Cup.
I think so. I think he needs to.
Right, he has to. Yeah, but the question. I don't think they'll rush him straight back in, will they? Given previous evidence. Do you want me to go through the Panthers team, or do you want me to save that for a little bit?
Well, no, let's go through it. I don't I'm expecting this team to chop and change big time, depending on
the Origin. Yeah,
who's coming back from Origin.
Dylan Edwards, number one. Jenkins and Alamotti are the wingers. Luke Garner, Isaac Tango in the centres with Blaze Talangi, Jack Cogger, the two halves. Moses Leota and Liam Henry in the front row. Freddie Lussick, the number 9. Isaiah Papali'i, Liam Martin, the second row. Lindsay Smith, the 13. And Jack Cole, Scott Sorensen, Billy Phillips, Lauren Pataya, Billy Scott and Sione Whanua, the extended interchange. You've got Kalani going, Casey McLean, Isaiah Yeo, Nathan Cleary and Brian To'o on the extended reserves for now.
Jello. The big 4. Even without that 4, it's still a good side. Isaiah Papali'i, Dylan Edwards, he's going to be up for it. You talk about some players that miss out on Origin.
Yeah.
Coming with that chip on the shoulder, they got something to prove. He's definitely one of them. And if you go back to James Tedesco's last game for New South Wales, 2004, he started game 1. I think it might have been that Suoliti game. They got beaten.
I think so.
He got dropped. I think Nico Hines got dropped. Hasn't been back since.
Yeah, very, very interesting. It's an interesting team. We'll tuck into that matchup a little bit later on as we preview round 13. But Jello, just quickly on the Dragons from the weekend. Scrappy game, messy game. A lot of errors. Certainly not the completion rate the Warriors are used to, but they got the job done. And they get the 2 points. I thought defensively very, very good. And injuries aside, because there were a couple of casualties. The Warriors, and it was a game that could have been a bit of a banana skin, I think, in a lot of people's eyes. The one thing I mentioned, just before I throw it over to you, a lot of Dragons fans complaining about the 6 agains and the penalty count, which, funnily enough, was quite even actually in the end.
Yeah.
But it was interesting hearing Dean Young in the press conference after the game admitting they didn't win the middle. They lost the battle of the middle. The back 5 from the Warriors, their carries were just too strong. They lost the middle. They tried to slow the ruck down as a result, and they gave away the 6 agains. He admitted basically that's how it happened. And I just think sometimes people think that the 6 agains are unjustified. The ref's just blowing them. Nah, he's giving them a handout, 6 against 6 again. It's the product of a team that's fatigued and battling. So I think that's why we saw a few of them go the Warriors way.
I still think the ref's a little too quick on the 6 again.
Yep.
Like, if you're at marker, your job is to slow down the ruck as much as you can within the rules. I feel like the line it's just so thin for 6 against to be blown, which is a shame. But I think referees will start to get a feel of it as we head towards finals in the back end of the season.
They'll taper off, yeah.
They'll taper off. It'll be interesting to see what this Origin is like.
Yeah. The thing I will say, Jello, is the rule, I don't know if we talked about this last week, the rule hasn't actually changed that dramatically.
No.
The rule has changed from the 40 to the 20.
The margins have changed.
But people saying, the rules in 2026 are ruining the game. What rules? Because the 40 to the 20 is hardly mattering.
I feel like this year, though, they're blowing the 6 again a lot more.
That's my point. So the rules haven't changed, but the referees in 2026 are blowing way more 6 agains. And I think it goes to your point. They're quick on the whistle. That they are getting. I actually think they're getting more confident now, or less confident, the way you want to look at it, to just throw out a 6 again. Because we spoke weeks ago about the lack of accountability. Throw a 6 again away, people forget about it 3 or 4 tackles later.
Yeah,
you blow a penalty, it sticks in people's mind. That penalty for the high shot, it wasn't even high. But the 6 agains, you can just throw it out as a referee.
You don't know what it's for.
People don't know what it's for. So whether that's them being more confident or less confident, but I think in 2026, they're blowing the whistle more, Jello.
Well,
or waving the arm more.
Exactly to your point with that penalty when Dimitri got done for the drop ball and he pulled the marker in.
Yeah.
And the marker punched the ball out.
Exactly.
And he said, well, you can't pull him in. I think it was like a set later. Yeah. Exact same thing.
Yes.
One of the Warriors pulled the...
Jackson Ford got pulled in.
Yeah, one of the Dragons, Jackson Ford gets pulled in. I thought, if he just punched the ball out...
That's exactly what Willie Poaching said in the commentary.
Yeah.
He said he should have just punched the ball and it would have been the same thing.
Exactly. You've got to be consistent.
You do, Jello. But there are more six skins, there's no doubt about it. What impressed you, I guess, or what was your kind of enduring thought from Sunday?
Just the ability to get the job done.
Saturday.
Because, those injuries that happened, it did cause a bit of a reshuffle. You could see the contact on the ball. As soon as anyone hit anywhere near the ball, it was coming loose.
Yeah.
But they just did a good job. They took an extra second to play the ball, try to minimise those errors as much as they could. And that's where they got themselves ahead in that game. Just being able to win that error battle a little bit and just keep hold of the ball a little bit longer was enough to kind of put them to the sword.
Now, a text that's coming here, Jello, from Paul on 8833. He says, Sammy, Jello, do you know why CHT has taken the goal kicks rather than Tane? Does he have an injury that hinders him? That's Tane. Goal kicking, a little bit of a concern, Jello. There's been some missed kicks. Goal kicking in 2026 for the Warriors hasn't actually been that flash. You get the sense against a team like the Panthers, you need to go up in sixes, not fours. What's your kind of take on it?
I'm trying to think, since Sean Johnson left, have we had a good, consistent goal kicker?
Really. I mean, Pompey's taken a few, he used to be a kind of...
Because he'd step up and
kicker.
take him, but even he didn't seem too confident at times. Like, if anyone else would come along, they'd...
Tanner Boyd historically does have a good kicking percentage, just not this year with the Warriors. I think the hardest thing for us, Jello, are the kicks from the sideline. And that's where guys like Nathan Cleary, Latrell Mitchell just
I don't think that's the
nail
problem, because if you score all right on the edge, like if you miss from the sideline, it's kind of almost half expected, acceptable. It's the ones 20 metres out.
Okay.
Like, you have to nail them. And you see Tanner Boyd miss those quite a bit. You've seen Chanel miss one of them on the weekend, and you just think those are the ones, like, you have to ice that. And I think that's the way they practice. Daryl Halligan, he's a kicking coach for a lot of the teams. And he always says, within this zone, you have to be 100%. And that's where they practice. They don't really practice from the sideline.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Although, I do think guys like Cleary and Mitchell, like they have, and going up and getting those extra
Jermaine Asako for the Dolphins.
Yeah, exactly. He's having a great year with the boot. Just quickly, Jello, 3-2-1s from the weekend. Want to talk through those quickly. Our Wally M's. You gave 3 points to DWZ.
Yep.
Blake gave 3 points to Fish. I went Aaron Clark 3 points. You think that I'm a copycat? I went Clark 3 points. Just your rationale around DWZ getting the 3 points.
It was one of those games where it's very hard to execute in the wet, and he took his tries very well. He defended very well. This has been one of the biggest changes in his game we've seen the last 6 weeks. Even when he started the year, people were a bit like, ooh, what's going on with him getting his reads and stuff right? But I think just having that consistency out on the edge with his centres, they've built some chemistry now. They've had some time in the saddle, and he just looks comfortable there. He looks confident. Like, there's times when he does jam, he's come up with intercepts and turning them into tries, which is amazing. Like, it's like a pick six in the NFL. Like, It's a 12-point play. Yeah, double play, essentially. So I think he did that well. He caught, he was very safe under the high ball and things like that. He, sounds easy, but when it's pouring down like that, it can be hard. So
it's funny, how we just don't talk about this is the reality of being a winger, I guess, but we don't talk about DWZ and AKP defensively being very good the last few weeks. Like, it was a story of the first couple of weeks, the edges.
Yep.
They're cheating in and they're, jumping out of the line and we're getting scored down the edges. We're giving away too many points.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it's not happening, that conversation just disappears entirely.
No news is good news.
Exactly.
We got nothing to talk about. You're doing your job.
Yeah, exactly. Tamati Martin got 2 points from all of us, all three of us, Tamati Martin. I think once again seamlessly kind of slotted into that 7 jersey. Came up with two tries, a couple of try assists.
I love how he picks his runs because some teams, especially against the Dragons, if they give you these different defensive looks or times when they're not numbered up, sometimes you just hold the ball and go forward. I was watching some club footy the other day, and you see these teams, they've got the play. This is their play, so they're going to put the play on. And it's like, if one of you just run hard, you'll score.
Yeah.
Like, it's that easy. And he's got that ability. When it's on to run, he'll just tuck it under the jumper and gets it done.
You went Fish 1 point. Blake went Tane. Actually, me and Aish went Tane 1 point. One of those games, Jello, where I think a lot of people stood up. Really, a lot of people could have picked up points. I mean, Jackson Ford probably should be in there. I think, I'm starting to not give him points now because he's doing it every week, victim of his own consistency. But yeah, Tane I thought was brilliant, and Fish, yeah. I mean, Fish is a bit not underrated, but his value, especially in this year, 2026, like when he comes off the field, there's a noticeable shift versus when he comes back on. I think Aaron Clark's the same.
Yep.
So they're well deserved of the points. Tell you what, Jello, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have a look at State of Origin, Queensland and New South Wales. We'll go around the league, talk about some of the big stories. And then after that, when we look at round 13, we'll throw out our Kiwi State of Origin hypothetical for you. Stay tuning in for that. We'll be back after this. Texan from Josh on the West Coast, 8833, says, sorry I missed the team namings. All Origin players backing up for both teams. Josh, for the Panthers, they have named To'o Cleary, Yo McLean on the extended bench. Liam Martin's playing Origin, isn't he? New South Wales? Oh, he's not.
No, didn't make the cut, along with Angus Crichton.
There you go. Well, everyone else named in there. And for the Warriors, no Kurt Capewell,
no Barney.
No Barney. So, yeah, we haven't named Josh, but the Panthers have named theirs on the extended reserves. Just quickly as well, big shout out to everyone who watches on YouTube. Jello, we can get a lot of comments. That obviously gets posted after we're live on air, but we get all the comments. We see them all. We appreciate all your support, so thanks for tuning in, including Case over in Boston in the United States. We've got a listener from all the way over in the US. We've actually got listeners everywhere. I mean, people message us all the time.
We're big in Japan. Did you see that?
Big in Japan. We're big ups in Japan, so appreciate you listening. Love you listening along, and all the messages. We try to get through a couple of them each week, Jello, the questions and stuff. We'll see if we can.
It's cool to have people along the journey with us. I feel like it's not just us talking here. Like there's a lot of us that are on this journey. And I
mean, you're the former player, Jello, so you are an expert. But me, I mean, jeepers, I'm just a man with some glasses and a hat.
You call the game like you're there on the front row. Like
exactly.
You're there each week.
I'm there on the front lines. Queensland, New South Wales, Jello, tomorrow 10:05 p.m. I'm sure you've had a look at the team lists. I'm not going to lie, and this is going to lead into a little bit of the conversation around Kiwi State of Origin. I'm a little bit underwhelmed with the sides this year. I mean, they're good sides, and they're good teams. But I just don't look at it and go, man, that's like a titanic matchup. Really. I don't know what it is.
Well, is someone missing for you?
I don't know. I honestly can't explain what it is. But like Queensland, I look at Isaiah Yo, Max Plath. Great players. Max Plath's having a great year for the Dolphins. But I don't look at that and go, oh, that's a matchup. Yo and Plath.
Yeah. I think it takes time. Like some of these guys making their Origin debuts. Like they're yet to kind of solidify themselves on that stage.
Yeah, I know. Jojo Fafita, once again, good player. I just don't. It doesn't kind of resonate with me. The big news for New South Wales, of course, is no Mitch Moses. So Ethan Strange getting his Origin debut alongside Nathan Cleary. It's in Sydney, Jello, at a core stadium, which I think helps. Well, obviously it helps New South Wales, but had this been in Queensland, very different story for someone like Ethan Strange, coming in against Queensland and Queensland.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you make? What do you make of the 19s? Interchange is going to be very interesting. What do you make of the 19s and how you're seeing it playing out tomorrow night?
It's quite interesting. Like these teams, for me, fit a very traditional State of Origin story where you look at the New South Wales team and it's very attack heavy. Like you've pretty much taken the best attacking player from every team in the NRL and put them in one side.
That's a great point.
And I look at the Queensland team, they look like they're ready to D up. Like I look at that back three, Cotter, Capewell, Plath. Like, let's just roll up our sleeves and get to work, lads. Like, there is some strike, of course. Kalen Ponga, he's holding the keys for Queensland. You got the hammer there. But without Xavier Coates, I feel like those two are going to be the strike for Queensland. Everyone just do your job, and we're going to make some points happen somewhere. When I look at this New South Wales team, I don't feel like they have a focus of who their attacking threat is going to be because they're all over the park. And I think in a weird way, Ethan Strange coming in for Mitch Moses, I think it's a bit of a blessing for New South Wales because it simplifies their game a little bit. I think Cleary now has a more ownership in that role that he's going to be getting him around the park. I think if Mitch Moses was there, it's kind of like having two captains of the ship. So I think they've simplified it a little bit that way, and I think it's going to work out better for New South Wales. But Laurie Daly, for me, the way he picks teams, I just don't know what he's thinking. Casey Maguire. I mean, if you're going to pick a seven, like pick Mitch Moses or pick Cleary. Don't pick the two best sevens to do it together.
Like, that's always been New South Wales' problem,
make
really.
the call.
What interestingly enough, Jello, and we'll get to this when we do our round 13 preview, Payne Haas named for Brisbane this weekend. So obviously not playing Origin, but named for Brisbane, so could be back.
Is he starting for Brisbane or is he on the extended
No, he's starting.
bench?
He's number 10.
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, it's obviously he couldn't have been named for New South Wales if he wasn't fit at the time, or they didn't think he was going to be fit. And maybe he has gone through fitness now and is ready to play, but obviously has missed the...
But he's a type of player, like, if he's the best prop in the game, which a lot of people believe he is, just get him in. You know, look at Ethan Strange. Like, he's in the team now. He wasn't a week ago, but he's in there now. I know he was with the squad and things like that, but you are allowed to make changes to your team.
Are you, though? If you name the 20, are you allowed to bring in someone? I don't know if you are, Jello.
I feel like Latrell Mitchell was injured a couple years ago and came in last minute.
But he was in the camp, wasn't he? In the...
I don't know. I feel like they pulled him in last minute when he came back from a hemi or something.
Here's a question for you from Jamie on 8833. Quiz question. Jojo Fafita, the second Dunedin-born player to play State of Origin. Who was the first Dunedin-born?
Dunedin-born? I wouldn't have a clue.
I wouldn't know where to start, Jamie. Sorry.
If you text us the position, I might have a
Okay, text us the position. I feel like Jello's pretty good with his trivia. So prediction, Jello. Maroons, New South Wales. Game 1.
Brother. I think if New South Wales are to win a game, it'll be this one.
You think it almost could be a 3-0?
No. I think New South Wales,
if they are
New
to
South
win
Wales
one,
will win one game.
And it'll be this one.
I think it could be this
one. So we're going to go to a decider, game 3.
Yes.
I like a decider. I like the idea of a decider.
But similar to other years. Like these teams that you see here, these will not be the teams for game 2 and 3, I guarantee. There's going to be injuries, suspensions. Like it's all gonna chop and change.
I agree with you. Where's game 2? Is that the one that's in...
Neutral. So I believe it's Perth.
So what, they go to Suncorp for game 3. I mean, that's got Queensland written all over it. So I'll go New South Wales for game 1, Jello. You think New South Wales?
I think they're missing Tom Dearden. If you get Tom Dearden back for game 2, I believe in Queensland a lot more. I hope they can do it tonight, but I think New South Wales will get game 1.
I think New South Wales. I think traditionally the first game is always very, very tight, like 14-10. It's always take the unders. And little tip for you, I always do this. You got to back a centre as first try scorer. In Origin. It's all like traditionally the numbers are crazy for centres scoring first. So you've got Robert Toya, you've got Hamiso Tabuai-Fitu, you've got Stephen Crichton, you've got Katoni Staggs. I mean, pick your poison, but...
Well, I've actually put a little multi together, and it was Hamiso, the hammer, to be first or last try scorer, and then Plath and Capewell, 30-plus tackles each, and it's paying over $10.
Gee whiz. Not bad. I didn't ask, but fantastic. The answer. Jamie says he was also an All Black. He was also an All Black.
Must be Bradley Thorne.
Yeah, there's people texting in Brad Thorne, so I think that might be spot on the money. So we're both going New South Wales tomorrow night for Origin. Let us know what your thoughts are on 8833. A little bit of around the league, Jello, because there's some stories floating around which we want to talk about outside of State of Origin.
Round the league.
You can kick us off, my friend. You want to talk about something a bit closer to home? Warriors related?
No, I got a couple. I'll get to this one first. Blake Brayley. I don't know if you saw this one. So he's just been ruled out of this week's game with HIA protocols.
Oh, well, that was a couple of weeks ago.
He had played 139 consecutive games.
Wow.
Which is unheard of.
That is crazy. That happened a couple of weeks ago. So that's interesting. He's still going through that. That is very, very interesting. What was the other one you had, Jello?
I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it, bro. I just wish it was a bad dream. But the Roger Tuivasa-Sheck injury. And, it's one of those things like this is life. This is the cold reality of sports in the world we live in. And this was supposed to be a fairy tale. Like this was supposed to be the season where all this guy's hard work, all his dedication, everything he's given to the club. I mean, you walk through the gym and you got, 4 or 5 player of the years up there on the wall. And this was supposed to be the year where it all culminates into this beautiful fairy tale where he finally gets it done. And it's not going to be. Like, it's not going to happen, and it's so sad. But I think he's the kind of guy where if you take a step back and you look at, Roger as a whole person, you look at his career and what he's achieved, like this is a kid from East Tamaki Rugby Club in Otara. who, broke out in his first couple years, wins a grand final with the Roosters, wins a Dally M, becomes an All Black. He's a leader for the Warriors on and off the field. He's a leader for Toa Samoa. He's just such an inspiration for young kids. And it breaks my heart that he's not going to be able to do it on the field. But when you look at the big picture, like, his career will transcend the trophies on the wall. And it will, like, his legacy will transcend what he does on the field. Like, he's just going to... He'll be one of these, like, Michael Jones type figures, I believe. Because when you think about where he comes from, like, I grew up in Otara as well. There's kind of like this, like a weird helplessness about it, where it's so easy to just think, oh, I'm so far from, the glitz and glamour that you see on TV. I'm just going to go for a drink, or I'm just going to smoke weed with my mates, because what's the point? So to come from that and achieve what he has, it's amazing. Like, it's incredible. There's a song by Nisha Mystic called Robin Hood Heroes.
Yeah, Robin Hood Heroes.
Yeah, if you actually listen to the lyrics of the song, it's heartbreaking, because it talks about people that are so talented but just can't break through to the next stage because of these things in their environment that are kind of holding him back. But he's blasted through all that. I think he's absolutely amazing. Wow,
that's so well put, Jello, and a beautiful tribute to RTS, who I know is a friend of yours and a friend of Aisha's too, who's part of our Warriors Live commentary team. It would have been interesting to see Roger get another Simon Mannering medal, because that would put him equal with Simon. Do you call it the Mannering to Avasa Sheck medal? Who knows? But look, Jello, people ask me often, like, who's your favourite Warrior? I say all time, Simon Mannering. Currently, Roger Tuivasa Sheck. Such an ambassador for the club, has done so much in his career, achieved so much, has brought so much to the Warriors. Won a Dally M with them, broke all sorts of records, both within the NRL but also within the Warriors. And it's really sad because, and also he's having a great year, Jello. Let's be honest. Like, he's playing great in the centres. That defensively amazing, but he's been I don't want to say revelation, but he really has taken that role on this year. It just is annoying. It's frustrating. We're not going to see that for 2026 anymore and beyond. So, big shout out to Rog, a real servant of the game. And it's going to be very sad to not see him in the Warriors colours or in an NRL jersey.
He'll be thereabouts. He'll be doing something. If he's running the water or somewhere, he's got to be there and amongst that team, because he's still very much a leader. And I think that's his intention too. He's going to be around. Final one for Around the League, Jello. The big one, of course, happening is Andrew Abdo stepping down as the NRL CEO. There's been a lot of chat around this already. A lot of people have talked about it. But yeah, just I guess your thoughts on what he's done for the game and where it's going to head under new leadership. Oh, it's amazing. Like, I'm not in those meetings. I'm not sitting in the boardroom seeing whose ideas are whose. Yeah, with Philandis and all the other teams. So I don't actually know kind of what his role, what he was responsible for exactly. I just know that since he's been in that job, the NRL has blossomed. It's gone to a completely another level. Yep. Took him through COVID. The rule changes, the Vegas stuff, the expansion teams. Yep. Like, it's in such a good place. And I just hope it's not a case of, he leaves and so does the kind of trajectory that we're on. I hope they can get the right kind of people in. But it's a bit of a blindside. Like, I was talking to some people from New Zealand Rugby League who met with them a couple of weeks ago. Nothing was said. It's just kind of come out of the blue. I know he's going to Tennis Australia. Yep. So I imagine there's a bit of coin. They'd be throwing a bit at him. But he's passionate about rugby league. I saw on the NRL 360 show last night them talking about Peter V'landys kind of the tandem of those two potentially being the strongest sports administration duo in Australian sport, potentially in Australasian sport, Jello, because the competition's in such a great place. The Bash brothers, a dynamic duo. And now Peter V'landys, as he take over, there's all sorts of constitutional things that needs to change for him to be the chairman and the CEO. But we'll see how it all plays out. I saw a funny comment when the news dropped. There was a comment saying, thank God he's leaving, because he's as useless as dog SHIT. I thought that's the most rugby league comment ever. Doesn't matter what you've done, as soon as you're going to somewhere else or you're going to tennis, good riddance. They probably don't even know who he is. They probably think he's like CEO of Swimming Australia. Anyway, that's Around the League. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have a look at round 13. We'll preview the Warriors v Panthers and also deliver our idea for a Kiwi state of origin. Stay tuned for that. All right, this weekend it's the Warriors and the Panthers. Sunday at 8:05. It is the last game of the round 8:15, I should say, of round 13 Jello, and it is top of the table. It's 1v2 and a big test for the Warriors. The Panthers naming their origin players on the extended bench. No Kurt Capewell, no Mitch Barnett for the Wars. Where's the game won or lost, Jello? What's the key
to winning this game for the Warriors, and what will it mean if they do get up over the Panthers in the context of this season?
I think the key is the belief. They have to believe that they can get over this team. I feel like the Panthers have a psychological hold over the Warriors. I feel like if we are to win a comp this year, the Penrith Panthers are our final boss.
Yeah.
Like, they are the roadblock. If you look at 2023 when Webby first came, top 4 that season, we run into the Panthers and it's like, oh, we don't want to play them. Like, you know, that's a team that's going to beat us.
Yep.
And even to our last finals appearance, they come to Mount Smart and, you know, see you later. And I think a lot of people didn't believe that we could beat Penrith. That is the team, like, that is our Everest that we have to climb.
Yeah.
And I was hoping Roger would be our Edmund Hillary, but he's not going to be there.
We beat the Roosters. You know, we've beaten the Storm.
That's
now.
it.
We've beaten the
We're
Broncos.
running through them all, man.
Yeah, a lot of the big ones that we struggle with traditionally.
Yeah,
and now it's
you see it sometimes. I remember when Brisbane had their run, they had to get over Melbourne. Melbourne was a team they had to beat to crack on, and so I feel like Penrith is our team. If we can beat them this weekend, it reinforces that thought of, you know what, they're human. They got 2 arms, 2 legs, just like us. We can beat them. And when we come against them later on in the year, when it really counts, that's in the back of our mind. We've had these guys before. We know what it feels like.
Throw it back the other way, though, Jello. If the Warriors are to lose this weekend to Penrith, how do you think we should react to that? That doesn't mean that the side no longer isn't a premiership threat, and you know.
Yeah. No, it's like a movie. You know when you watch a movie and you always get beaten at the start. Hey, if it's a fighting movie, you get beaten up by this guy at the start. It's like Karate Kid. Think of Karate Kid. He gets beaten up by the dude at the start. At the end, that's the one you got to come back and win. So if Penrith do beat us this week, it just adds to the narrative. You know, it's going to be a hell of a story if we do get them at the back end of the year. If we lose this one, it's just part of that journey. You got to take the lessons from the loss. But I think our forward pack, just keep doing what you're doing.
I think the key for me, Jello, is in the middle of the park. I know that's a cliche, but it's the middle of the park. The Warriors, that's where their bread and butter's been in 2026. I think they've got the best pack in the comp. Yep. Can they run over the top of Penrith? If they can, the rest takes care of itself.
What is it about Penrith, you think? Are they physically superior? Are they physically stronger, fitter? Or is it more of a game plan thing?
I think the Penrith and Warriors are very similar in 2026 and the fact that both Andrew Webster and Ivan Cleary have been the best coaches at adapting to this, not new rules, because we talked about that at the beginning of the show, but the new style of game in 2026 with the refs blowing so many 6 games. They have adapted the best of any team. They also have the personnel to play that style of game. They don't have big bodies. No. They've got fit, mobile, agile forwards, which is what the Warriors have, which means later in the game, they can be more physical because they're fitter and they're charged up and they pull away. So both teams are very evenly matched. What's your final prediction for it, Jello?
I think Warriors in a close one. I think it'll depend on who comes back for Penrith, but I think Warriors will do them by 6, do them by 8.
Reverse curse from Sam. I'm going to pick the Penrith Panthers by 4 points, and that is deliberate, that is intentional, as you well know, and I'm happy to give up that point, Sav, when we revisit the tips next week. We actually need to go back to our round 12 tips. We don't have a lot of time, so we'll keep it quick, but Sav, you can run through our round 12 tips, which only had a couple of games with the bye.
Yes, it was actually quite a close one this week. Let me just pull up the
I got a good feeling. I feel like I picked some good ones this week.
I
picked the Raiders, didn't I?
Did you?
So, round 12. Wasn't many games, as you say. So, Dolphins, Raiders. Jello, you took the Raiders. Sam, you took the Dolphins. You both took the Bulldogs. You both took the Warriors.
Yeah.
You both took the Sea-Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
And you both took the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Perfect round. What are you cheering about?
Yes.
So 5 to you, Sam. 4 to Jello. Overall score, Sam 8, Jello 5.
Pulling away. Golden point win. Right, round 13, Jello, outside of Origin. We've both picked New South Wales for that. We've got the Sharks and the Sea-Eagles, 10 o'clock, on Friday. No Nico Hines for the Sharks. However, all the Origin players for both sides named in the kind of 23-man squad. So what do you reckon, Sharks, Sea-Eagles?
Oh, bruh. I'm still scanning through these team lists. Give me the Sharkies at home.
I'm going Sea-Eagles. I think no Nico Hines. Guys backing up. Yeah, I don't know. But the Blake Brady thing's interesting because obviously he'll play and he'll be fully fit. So I'm going to go the Sea-Eagles in that one. Knights, Eels, Saturday at 5 o'clock. No Mitch Moses, of course, for the Eels. Outside of that, everyone named for the Knights.
I think we'll both go Newcastle in that one.
Yes, we will.
I'll speak on your behalf.
Thank you for doing so. Tigers, Bulldogs, Saturday at 7:30.
Who's back? Luai's back. Jareen Buller's back.
No Afoa, Herbert or Taylor May.
Who's at 9? He's back. Give me the Tigers.
Pekora Isau. I think I like the Tigers in that one as well, with Jerome Luai back and Jock Man. Yeah, I'm going to go the Tigers. Storm, Roosters.
I was really hot on the Roosters till I saw them get beat by the Cowboys, but I still like them. I'm going to take the Roosters for this one.
Yeah, I'm going the Roosters as well. That one is at Amy Park. What about Broncos, Dragons, Sunday at 4 p.m?
Oh, Reece Walsh. I think he's going to be fired up, though. Reece Walsh going to score a hat-trick.
Peyton Haas in there as well, so I'm going to go with Hakeem Haas. So I'm going to go with the Broncos. Raiders, Cowboys, 6:05 on Sunday.
No Dead and Clifford's there. Give me the Raiders. Raiders at home.
I think the Raiders could get the job done at home in this one, so I'm going to go. It's a hard one, but I'm going to go.
It depends on those Origin boys.
It does. It really does. But I think last game of the weekend, or last couple of games, I think they'll take it out. And then we've already gone through the Warriors. So that's round 13. Those are our tips. Josh thinks before kickoff, me and Aish are going to get a feeling, and we're going to tip the Warriors. Maybe we will, Josh, but for the purpose of this show, I'm tipping the Penrith Panthers. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to run you through my State of Origin concept, Jello, for a Kiwi State of O, and I'm keen to get some feedback from the listeners. So tune back, not tune back, tune in.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Tune back in.
Okay, so I think the people watching on YouTube are going to really get into this, Jello. I was thinking earlier this week about a concept for a Kiwi State of Origin. I know people talk about this all the time, but let me just sell you on a bit of a concept here, okay? Bear with me as I start to build up the hype for some people calling it the Battle of Bombay. I'm going to call it State of Origin. Kiwi State. I'm going to call it Kiwi State of Origin.
Mate, this is blown up online, by the way.
It's blown up online, by the way, folks. Here we go. I was just getting the
right.
want this to kick in. Kiwi State of O, Jello. The Kiwis don't play in State of O. I mean, they do now, Britain Nikita, but let's bring State of O back here. I'll explain the logistics of it, but just let me read out the team lists. New South Wales, Queensland, right? Everyone hates New South Wales, all the Queenslanders. It's the city slickers, it's the money, it's the wealth, it's the white collar.
The latte drinkers.
It's the latte drinkers. And I feel like the same attitude exists in New Zealand towards Auckland.
Okay.
There's Aucklanders, and then there's everyone else. And everyone else doesn't like Auckland, pretty much, south of the Bombays. So, what you would have is you would have Auckland and Northland. I'll put them sort of together as the North. And then the South would be anyone outside of Auckland and below, right? So here's the team you'd get from the North for this. Northland and Auckland. You get Keanu Kinney at fullback. You get Ronaldo Mulatalo and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck as your two wings. Roger's got a good ACL. Matt Timoko and Ali Leatawa in the centres. Chanel Harris-Tavita, Dylan Brown in the halves. James Fisher-Harris, Moses Leota as the starting front rowers. Brandon Smith, your number 9. Isaiah Papali'i, Nafahu White in the second row. Aaron Clark, the number 13. Heck of a team, Jello.
You just named the Kiwis.
Heck of a team. Can I take you to the south?
Take me.
In the number 1 jersey, Kalen Ponga. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, Jermaine Asako on the two wings. Joey Manu makes a return back to rugby league, Tokoroa boy, alongside Casey McLean. Tamaiti Martin, Jerome Hughes in the halves. Tanner Stowers-Smith, Xavier Willison in the front row. Jeremy Marshall-King, the number 9. Britain Nikita and Jordan Riki in the second row with Joey Tarpany, the 13. Now, a couple of extra names that I've thought of since. Isaiah Katoa, I think he's a Wellington boy, so he could play for the South. Greg Marju could play for the North. Griffin Neem for the South. Leo Thompson for the South. Cody Nikarima for the South. Simi Sasangi for the North. KL Iro in the North as well. Jello, you can't tell me those teams side by side doesn't make your mouth water. Now, logistically, before you rip holes in it, here's what I think you do. State of Origin, both Australia and New Zealand, you just don't play NRL that weekend. You have it on a weekend, you don't have NRL that weekend. You have these two marquee games, you might have some other sort of curtain raiser games or whatever. That gives, the spotlight on these two massive fixtures, huge viewership, huge crowd attendance, but also all those players then get the week to recover. They don't have the backing up after 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's like international windows in football. So you just have a break in the season, okay? You do that you'd start in round 12, you do it every couple of rounds. So, round 16, you do it again. Round 19, you do it again. Limit the buys across so everyone gets the week off that week from the NRL.
Yep.
And then maybe you have 2 buys outside of that. If you're like normal teams have 2 buys, so you don't get the super buy business. And the season might end up being a little bit short. It might be 25 weeks. Now, you might sit there and go, well, there's going to be less NRL games, so they'll get less money. The money you generate from this on top of Origin would be immeasurable in my mind. 0800. Tell me your thoughts.
I like it, Bo. You know, Andrew Abdo stepped away.
It's gone viral, Jello.
You've just put your name
I
in the
know.
hat.
I'm just pushing this idea forward to the new CEO.
I like it. I'm going to poke holes in it.
Go on.
Think of this as like an episode of Shark Tank. Will people get behind the two, the borderline that you've drawn?
Of course they will,
Because
Jello. Of course
me
they
being
will.
an Aucklander, do I despise people south of Bombay?
But
Not really.
But New South Wales people were never like that about Queens. They were the big brother. They didn't care. But then
Okay.
Queensland came in and showed that, hey, we're actually here to play. We beat you. And all of a sudden now this
So
rivalry
you're
is
saying
born.
people south of Bombay feel this way about me?
Mate, I'm
Sitting
a
up here on my
Hamiltonian.
northern
I'm a
throne.
Hamiltonian. We
You
don't
don't-
like Aucklanders. We don't, And Christchurch people do not like Aucklanders. Wellingtonians do not like Aucklanders.
Okay.
But the rivalry, I think, that exists kind of organically.
Hmm.
It'll only get better as these two teams come together and go head to head. Now, people say North v South, the South Island. There's not enough players in the NRL from the South Island.
It's not a fair boundary.
It's not a fair boundary. But if we include like your Wellingtons, your Waikato's, your Bay of Plenties, suddenly those teams become very even.
Okay. No, I like it. The
The rivalry would be there, Jello.
You'd have to call it something else.
Someone said Battle of Bombay because that is kind of the
you can't
borderline.
use the word origin. I think even the concept of it, like
City
this
v
kind of
country.
north border versus south border thing, like that is origin already. And I think people will just compare the two.
That does. It's supposed to be. Here's
This
your
is-
version.
this is-
Here's our version.
I think our version would be Tonga versus Samoa.
No. See, I
At
disagree.
origin time.
I think there's
and
an
you-
argument.
And I know you're going to say, "Oh, that's not inclusive enough. Like, not enough players will play." That's the beauty about Origin. Like, it's not an all-star game.
Hey,
if you
I'm
start
not
making
against-
it like this is kind of like an all-star team. If you make an all-star game, it's not the same. An egg and spoon race is an egg and spoon race. You can't just say chuck the egg and spoon, let's have a race, because it's not the same thing.
I think there's a market for Origin, Australia, Origin New Zealand or Battle of Bombay, and a Samoa v Tonga. I think there's
But if
all
you
three.
take the Samoan and Tongan players out of those teams,
I know, but they'd get filled. We'd have to find
Yeah,
players. They'd
you're
fill.
right,
Same with
you're right,
Origin.
you're right,
They'd have
you're
to
right.
get filled. And over time, Jello, that rivalry would build and build and build and build.
Okay.
I just think, hey, I'm no Abdo, but I'm throwing it out there. Let us know what you think. Jump on the YouTube, or if you are watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of the teams as well. We might put a little graphic up while we're talking about them, so you can see them side by side. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for Sam for putting the buttons. Thank you to Anthony
Bashing
Gelling
the
for being a
bootins.
legend as always. Warriors v Panthers, massive game on Sunday. Enjoy your State of Origin football tomorrow night.